I'm Terry Saka, and this is Rigged Against You. Today, we're going to discuss gold tokenization. A lot of people have been hearing the word tokenization, and they're hearing the word revolving around gold. So I'm going to give some real good breakdown on what this means for those that are holding gold, what this means going forward. Because it's not just gold that's going into tokenization. So before we get going, please consider subscribing. I don't do these podcasts too often, so please hit the bell for notification. And when I do drop something, it is going to be something very important for those that are interested moving forward or holding precious metals and what they can do for their portfolio to protect themselves, in the future here. So it's not just gold that is being tokenized. So when you hear the word tokenization, we are moving into a fourth turning event, as many of you have heard me discuss. We're coming into a new financial system. And so what you're seeing right now are many countries blowing up the currencies. China's doing a fabulous job on printing trillions in new currency, and they're using that to buy commodities, physical silver, gold, nickel, copper. They're going around the world and using this printed currency to buy commodities because everyone knows we're getting ready to go into a new system. This new financial system is going to be digital. And so let me give you a quick breakdown. Now, I do have podcasts in the past. You can scroll through the library that do discuss CBDC, discusses crypto, if you want to do a little more study on it. But let me give you a quick breakdown. And I'm not going to do any visuals, really. I'm just going to kind of lay out what this is. When we talk about crypto, there are three categories of crypto. There's meme coins, stable coins, and then you're going to have utility coins, which will be a little bit different. So a meme coin are your Doge and things that are kind of like trading baseball cards. Most of those are going to go away. Those are really just for fun, like NFTs. They're all for fun, collectibles. They're pump and dumps, and you can make some money, yes, but they're very specific for just kind of fun. Then there are stable coins. Stable coins are a digital version of a country's currency. Basically, for us, it's Ripple RLUSD. We have Tether. We have Circle. We have a few that are creating stable coins that represent a US dollar denomination. They're equivalent to a dollar. Stable coins are different because they can't just be created. They have to be backed up by a commodity. So right now, the United States wants to back up their crypto coins, stable coins with US dollars. Now, the world knows the US dollar is going down. It is going regional. We are breaking up in the world as reserve currency, and you are going to find that the United States dollar is going to become regional. It's going to be for North, South America, Greenland. This is our region. That's why I believe taking Venezuela was allowed by the Chinese and the Russians. And I do believe that in this new multipolar world, China is going to control the Pacific Rim. My guess, they get Taiwan. Russia is going to get Ukraine and control the Eurasia area. And Europe, they're flat out going to just be out. Europe doesn't have anything. They don't really produce anything. You might as well call London Stan. They're just not there. So, and when it comes to Europe, they're out to lunch. Europe is not going to make it. So the United States, China, Russia, they're going to have these zones, these territories, and this is going to be multipolar power and economic power. And so I do believe behind the scenes that there is agreements to allow this to happen. I'm guessing at this is my opinion. But by allowing this to happen, we all then come into our own zone. And then by doing that, we can then recreate a bilateral trade and global trade. But the world is changing from globalization, where it's a one world central system, to regionals. And for many of us in the kingdom, the 10 kings concept, interesting, isn't it, being set up. And so we're seeing this multipolar take place. And so a lot of these countries will be using central bank digital currencies. Central bank, that's another one I should have added. Central bank digital currencies are right next to stable coins. Basically, they're going to be a government form of a new currency, new dollar, whatever the currency is. Stable coin is going to be corporate ran, Central bank digital currency is ran by government, controlled by government. A vast majority of the world will do CBDCs. They'll combine that with digital IDs, and their people will be slaves. They will control behavior, absolutely 100%. And stablecoin, the little thing that's tricky about stablecoins, and this all gets into gold tokenization, so hang with me. Stablecoins are controlled by large corporations, and the only part that's not good is large corporations can spy, control data, and hide information privately that the government cannot, because a CBDC at least has to have disclosure, and we have a little bit more of a clear understanding of what they're doing. So the world will be picking an either or, whether it's a stable coin or a CBDC in the new financial system for the new currency. Now, that's why these fiat currencies, these things that we know of as paper, that's going away. Right now, President Trump is wanting to give us a choice to have paper currency available as well as using digital money. If we get a Democrat in, they're going to go 100% digital and we will be slaves. Both of them are bad, CBDC and stablecoin. But in doing this, they will be putting things on blockchain. This is the whole point here, is the financial system will now go onto blockchain. So what does blockchain mean? If you just visualize a chain link, a big long chain, and there's link after link after link, that is a blockchain, digital timestamp. So it's a time, date, price, buyer, seller, and it can never go away, not be hacked, and they always know where things are going and what they're doing. Unfortunately, that's going to be very bad, and that's another conversation. We're not avoiding it, so that's our issue there. I'm sorry about the phone. I know it's blowing up. Things are so hectic right now, but it's a good hectic for all of us in this realm. But these two different currencies going on blockchain is what the new financial system will be. And so in doing that on blockchain, then walks in the word tokenization. And so you have stablecoin, you have CBDC. I explained meme coins in crypto. They're kind of irrelevant. Then there's the utility cryptos. Those would be things like XRP, XLM, HBAR, and others. They will be used as technology or rails to connect stablecoin to stablecoin. So if you want to connect, let's say Denver to Santa Fe, you get the train on the tracks and you just go. Stablecoin to stablecoin cannot connect to each other. They can't transact. So they use something called a rail to connect the two. And that's something like XRP. XRP is going to be finance to finance, bank to bank. XLM is going to be peer-to-peer, similar to Apple Pay or Venmo. HBAR is pure tokenization, the hash graph. Even the State Street CEO came out and said that they will, once this Clarity Act passes, and it's coming, they will be tokenizing. Now we're going to get into the word tokenizing. They will be tokenizing all assets, whether it be money market funds, whether it be stocks or bonds, mutual funds, everything will get tokenized. So when you hear the word tokenization or tokenized, every asset at that point gets put on a blockchain. Basically, like when you go to the grocery store and you know how we scan our food products and have that QSIP code. That's what a tokenization will be. That's what tokenizing is. Every asset will get that QSIP code that they can scan into the system, and it'll show the buyer, the seller, the time, the date. It will help for fraud for sure, but it'll also help for a lot of control, which is really bad, especially in the wrong hands like Democrats. But tokenization is where it's going. And these utility cryptos, once the Clarity Act passes, they get implemented. Even BlackRock CEO Larry Fink said they will tokenize stocks and bonds. And so this is leading up to gold tokenization. And so as this gets implemented and as the law becomes clear, they will then make moves on acquiring the proper crypto, utility crypto, whatever blockchain they're going to use for that asset. Even State Street, when I told you, they said they were going to tokenize all the stocks and bonds. You're talking trillions, tens of trillions. They even used as an example HBAR, hash graph, which is very, very interesting because why use that as an example if you're not going to use it? So it's a little speculation right now. But the point is, the three I've mentioned, they are ISO 2022 compliant. So they've been around a long time. They've showed their stability. They show they can work. The world has approved them. So we know those are going to be some of the initial blockchains doing this. Not just stocks and bonds being tokenized. They will start tokenizing every asset. Real estate, when you buy a house, will get tokenized. It will go on a blockchain. Gym memberships will get tokenized on a blockchain. Commodities will get tokenized on a blockchain. So, and this is more in the, I would say, institutional level of commodity, where you're dealing with, you know, the farmer and let's say the end user, like cereal maker or bread maker, miners to refineries when it comes to metals. Commodities in the future will get tokenized. And so you will see gold, you will see silver, copper, nickel, iridium. I mean, it goes on and on what's going to get. They're going to tokenize every asset. So it will get to the point, not only does every asset get tokenized, get its own QSIP code, go on a blockchain, they then will get into something called fractionalization of tokenization. So they will take, let's say, the Empire State Building. It will be tokenized. Then they can break it up into 10,000 tokens for the Empire State Building, fractionalize it, and there could be 10,000 owners of that piece of real estate. And so you could collect income off of it, whether if they're renting and so forth. And so you can see how it's going to expand. They're doing it for control, and they're doing it to streamline fraud. That's going to be the big pitch. But I guarantee when behavior control comes in, we will be told what we can do, what we can't do, what we can eat, what we can't, when it's in the wrong political hands, especially Democrats, because they've already said they would do it. So when it comes to gold tokenization, they're talking about commodities in the markets, in the COMEX, the LBMA in London, in Shanghai, as these markets like stocks and bonds and Fidelity and BlackRock and State Street and Vanguard and mutual funds, and we can go on and on, as these investments, products, commodities, real estate, and you can go on and on with what's going to be added to these blockchains, you can start to see how things will be controlled. Now, individually, eventually, under the wrong tyrannical leader, which I believe Democrats are, they've proven to be communist, Marxist, they will do it. They may eventually try to demand that all of our wealth get tokenized. I mean, right down to our paintings or collectible watches. Or California, great example, they tried to pass a wealth tax that they would demand the certain high net worth list all of their assets, whether they sold them or not. No, that's in total intrusion. To me, that is absolutely anti-American. But this is where this can go. But for now, and not in the foreseeable future, as long as we can hang on to Republicans, we will not see our personal assets get tokenized. So when you hear gold tokenization, they're talking about that along with other commodities, from miners to the refiners to the exchanges, where they're buying and selling on the institutional and industrial level. Personally, it's not there. And when you hear people in the YouTube world talking about, you're going to get all your assets are going to get tokenized right now, no. And all due respect, I don't know about you. I'm not doing it. I'm not telling somebody what painting I have, what watch I have, what unique collectible coin or something I might have. Nobody's business what we have. And so I think America will flat out say no. Would you want to tokenize your gold, your silver, or your assets? Many people, they don't know. So it'd be like, well, maybe I should. I wouldn't. Now, granted, it shows ownership. And so if someone tries to steal it, I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't even be thinking it. So when it comes to we, the people, will we be tokenizing real estate? Yes, probably, eventually, yes. Other large financial transactions, yes. Our stocks, our bonds, yes. Mutual funds, yes. You will see individuals, well, put it this way, your investments will be tokenized whether you know it or not. You will think you're just buying and selling stock. But remember, the stocks and bonds you have in the stock market, you don't own anyway. It's actually considered an unsecured creditor. And that's why I'm still amazed at how many people are in the stock market right now with the very little return they're going to get over the next 18 months when gold and silver are on a tear and they're listening to the wrong advisors and the wrong people. Gold is going a lot farther, and so is silver and other commodities as nations around the world blow out and print trillions and tens of trillions of their currency. Going forward, it's going to cause this commodity super cycle to extend for a minimum of a couple years. And so just keep that in mind. If you're still in the stock market, get diversified. You're missing the greatest wealth transfer. And if you think the prices are high now, you're kidding yourself. Now, can there be a pull off? Of course. In any bull market, you can get 20, 30% of a pull off. So what? That's just another buying opportunity. But eventually, we're still in the early stages of this commodity super cycle. We will be moving higher. This is my opinion and many others that are in this world. As far as the financial, the commodity, and even precious metals, they understand it. We do know that the world is going into tokenization, going into crypto blockchain in this new financial system. For those of us that decide to make that change, protect themselves properly, you will have a new wealth substantially more than anyone that stays in a traditional financial world. I don't know how many financial advisors and stock people have been insulting people like me and Peter Schiff and others that have been talking about this for the last few years. And it turns out we are the ones correct. In the last 25 years, even 20 years, gold has outperformed the stock market, period. So what was the better place to be? It is gold and silver. And going forward, that's not going to change because they're going to keep printing. Now, it will provide liquidity to the stock market. So your stock market may go up 10, 15%. But just in the last year alone, silver's up almost 200%. And so don't think you've missed out because there is a long way to go in gold and silver and other commodities as the world continues to print. So I hope this helps clarify a little bit of what gold tokenization is. All I know is most of our personal assets, collectible assets, heirloom assets, I'm never put this painting behind me. It's not going on some kind of a blockchain and I'm not tokenizing it. So just know we are protected individually for now. That's why I would be really highly advise being properly diversified and not being too much into the paper world because this is a very, very uncertain time. The world has blown out the currencies. We are going into a new financial system. This isn't something Trump's doing. This is something that's been being done for the last 20 years, 30 years. We are at the end of this current financial system, and we are coming into the new one. Actually, we're in it right now. You just don't know it. You will wake up one day soon, and just like this, you're going to realize, here it is. But before you understand it, if you're not listening to this podcast, it's going to happen. By the time you understand it, it will have already happened. So don't miss out. So until next time, God bless you.
With all of the recent changes in the political and financial markets, there has never been a better time than right now to invest in silver and gold. When governments simply print billions of dollars in paper money in hopes of solving financial shortfalls, you know that it is time to buy and hold assets of true and lasting value. Free information is available to you right now by calling 888-747-3309. Whether you are a new investor or you're interested in preserving the value of your retirement accounts, we make it easy for you to make smart decisions for your financial future. The specialists at Cornerstone are here to serve you, work to satisfy your retirement goals, and communicate with respect. Call us right now at 888-747-3309. That's 888-747-3309. Or visit us online at cornerstoneassetmetals.com. That's cornerstoneassetmetals.com.